Did you know you could build $1 million retirement account completely tax-free, even if you're self-employed? I know it sounds wild, right? But I want to tell you about my client, Robert, an attorney who didn't have a retirement plan in place, and with just a few simple changes was actually able to accomplish that. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what we did in order to help them grow a tax-free retirement account. Let's get started. So Robert's a really smart guy. He's successful. He's a great guy to know. But when it came to his retirement, he wasn't doing the right things. He was just winging it like I see so many other business owners do. Some years he'd throw money into a SEP. He also had years where he put money into a simple. And then there's some years he didn't make a contribution at all. It really came down to the last minute on whatever his CPA recommended. That's what he ended up doing. And that's what he called his retirement plan strategy. Totally reactionary, totally last minute, totally not thinking about the future impact of decisions he was making today. And honestly, that's super common. A lot of small business owners I work with do nearly the same thing. They don't have an actual strategy that lines up with what they're looking to do. In fact, I can tell you, 28 years of practicing, I can tell you not many people get to the retirement stage as business owners where they have anywhere close to $1 million saved in a retirement account that's completely tax-free and available to them in retirement. So I hope you tune in. I hope you listen up. I hope that you take these simple steps I'm going to share with you. So when you go to retire, you have $1 million in tax-free money that can never, ever, ever be touched by the government again. Let's dig in deep. So when I sat down with Robert, he was completely blown away. He had no idea that he could actually implement a strategy like this with his business. He thought Roth was a word used for W-2 employees only, or that a Roth, you were limited to that $7,000 a year cap, therefore not able to really put a lot of money into it. And as for the tax-free growth component of it, he thought that was only for IRAs with small contribution limits. But here's the thing, when you're self-employed, you have options, big options. So we set him up with a Roth Solo 401k plan. And now he can contribute up to $77,500 for 2025 contribution year. He can invest in a mix of stocks, and also because we did a self-directed component, he could buy real estate, he could buy business, he could buy crypto, he can buy Taylor Swift tickets, sell them for a huge profit, and have no capital gains on that as long as he did it as a qualifying event under his self-directed 401k. Now here's the best part. Every single dollar that Robert pulls out of this account is gonna be tax-free forever. He will never pay tax on this money ever when he goes to pull it out, and he doesn't have to take it out at 73 like you do some of the other retirement accounts. If you're listening to this and it feels a little confusing, or you're wondering if this is right for you or how to even get this set up, just book a call with me. We'll talk through your details and I'll see how I can help. So let me show you how this works. A Roth 401k, it's for self-employed individuals or business owners that have no employees, no full-time employees, other than maybe their spouse or their kids. There's two contribution limits or two contribution layers to this type of account. The first one is the employee contribution. Now for 2025, you can put $23,500 into the employee portion of this Solo 401k. Number two, you've got the catch-up contributions. Now if you're over 50 years of age or older, you can put another $7,500 as a catch-up contribution, bringing your total employee amount to $31,000. And then the third component is what we call the employer profit sharing. The rest of that $77,500 limit that I was telling you about can be funded with what we call employer profit sharing contributions. So if you're under 50 years of age, you could only go up to $70,000. But if you're over 50, you can do the $70,000 limit for 2025 plus your $7,500 catch-up contribution. Now, if you're over like 60 something years old, there's another one that was just released, and I think it's another 11,000 or so, but we're not going to cover that in this video. If you happen to be over 60 years old and you want to contribute more than $77,500, reach out below. We can talk about how you can possibly make that happen. Now, here's the part I get really excited about that a lot of people misunderstand or possibly doing incorrectly when it comes to their solo 401ks. All of these contributions that you're funding into the solo 401k, they can all be put in after-tax dollars. They can be put on the Roth side of the solo 401k, and it's going to grow completely tax-free. Most people have no idea this exists. They think that you've got to put the Roth component into the employee contribution part, but then when it comes to the matching or the profit sharing, that it can't be put into the Roth bucket, that it has to be put into the pre-tax bucket, and that simply is not correct. The reason why they believe this is true is probably sounds like this. You call the plan sponsor and you say, hey, I want to contribute to my solo 401k. How much can I put into my Roth? And they tell you 23.5 as the employee plus the catch up and all that stuff. What they don't tell you is that the plan documents that govern the rules associated with your particular solo 401k are not updated to have kept up with the new tax law changes that would allow you to make those contributions. So it's not a matter of the IRS allowing you, it's the documents you have in place are limiting you from doing this type of strategy because you haven't updated the documents, who knows, maybe since you first started the solo 401k many, many moons ago. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you get your hands on what's called your adoption agreement. And in that adoption agreement, it's going to spell out exactly what you can do with your solo 401k. Now remember, the IRS has their own guidelines, and then your plan documents stipulate what restrictions you might have. So if you want to be able to do some of these cool things, it's a matter of updating your plan documents to allow for it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. A lot of people believe that in a 401k or retirement plan, things of that nature, that the only options you have available to you are boring mutual funds, exchange traded funds, whatever the investment menu or choices available to you when you call up and say, hey, what can I invest in? But yes, that is true if your solo 401k is parked or custodied where it's tied to a brokerage account or an investment house. But if you did a self-directed 401k, this opens up a lot of your possibilities in terms of what you have the ability to invest in. Inside of a self-directed solo 401k, you can buy gold. And I'm not talking about the ETF. I'm talking about the hard bar, actual gold. You can invest in private companies. You can invest in real estate. You can invest in cryptocurrency. And yes, even your own deals if you structure them properly. You're in 100% control, not Wall Street, as long as you follow the rules. So imagine you're sitting on $1 million Roth Solo 401k at retirement. You pay 0 taxes on it. You're not forced to take distributions at age 73. And your kids can inherit it tax-free if you planned it right. If you're wondering what a self-directed 401k might look like for you, how to make sure that you fund it properly, how to review your plan documents to ensure it allows you to do all the things we're mentioning today, and you don't know where to start and you've just got some questions and you need some answers, click on the link below, schedule a 20-minute call with me. We'll talk about your situation. If I can help out, we'll talk about how I can help out, and maybe I can just point you in the right direction. So here's what we covered in this short video. Robert's story and how he went from just chaotically funding or reactively funding retirement plans to building a solo 401k, a Roth Solo 401k that allow him to have $77,500 a year contributing into the plan each year. That's going to get him up to that $1 million of tax-free money when he retires. We also talked about the 3 layers, the employee portion, the catch-up, and then their employer contributions that get you that $70,000, that $77,500 contribution limits imposed by the IRS. We talked about the IRS rules versus your TPA rules, the adoption agreement that governs what you can do inside your 401k and how you may want to get that amended and corrected and reviewed. Look, the bottom line is if you're a business owner out there, you started the business because you wanted to get out of the rat race and you wanted to win financially. And a solo 401k is one of the best ways that I know to win financially as a business owner leading up to retirement. You've worked really hard for your money. Don't let the IRS just come along and take it because you didn't plan accordingly. I want to thank you for watching. And for more business owner wealth building tips, make sure to follow me. I drop a new long form content every single Monday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.